Hello there. So I said I would explain what it was about the room that I used to listen to this Sparky record in that helped it to be sort of creepy, which means that if you're watching this, you're probably a member of my family who wonders what on earth I could be talking about, because it was quite a nice room. So imagine a long room. Of course, I was small at the time, so it might not have been as big as I'm going to depict it. Here was a window. There's another window over here. So lots of light coming into the room from outside. There's a door with a window in it. And that door led directly out onto the garden, which obviously you could see through the windows. Don't know if the windows were to scale there. I'm just sort of trying to remember an old memory here. So here's the lawn, and a couple of trees there. I don't know if there were trees there. I think there was something there anyway. A bit of fence there to just sort of close the whole thing in. And here was a rockery. Oh yeah, here was some steps leading up the rockery. Which meant that it was just high enough that you could jump down onto the grass and not hurt yourself if you're a little... here's a little gantry sort of area with some apples on it that have fallen down from the apple trees. There we go. I might be making that up. I think there were apple trees there. There we go. Nice little garden. And, of course, this could all be seen from inside the house. And I've turned it green there so that you can... get the picture, although you can't really see it. Okay, I'm just filling the room up with some furniture because I don't want you to get the impression that it was a sort of an empty, haunted-y kind of a room. It wasn't. It was... in fact, I've made it stretch off towards the camera further than it should. But I'll sort that out in a minute. So anyway, here we go. Furniture. Over here, we've got a dining table. There we go. Here we that. And I'll put a couple of chairs. Another chair there. I mean, I think there would be more chairs than this. But, whatever. Can't be bothered. So there we go. There we go. I'll put another couple in. Hang on a minute. Okay, and now the important piece of furniture for our purposes, though, is this thing over here. Now, obviously, again, this is taking me back a few years, so I'm not sure this is going to be accurate, but it was a kind of a table with... That's where the record was. It was a space that was perfect for keeping records in. There's more drawers on that side. There we go. Here's the table. I remember this table being a huge thing. There's a shelf on the wall, but it was probably just table-sized. I don't know. Thinking back though, I thought it was enormous. Covered the wall. There we go. There's that. Okay. And the reason why that bit of furniture is particularly important to our story is that it was where the Sparky was coming from, because here is the stereo. There we go. There's a record player bit up there. And like all stereos in the 80s, well, most anyway, it was a sort of a stacked up affair. There's the volume control, and it was, different bits stacked up on top of each other. There's a tape deck. There's a radio tuner there, and there's a bit for the record. And here are the speakers. There we go. There's quite big speakers there. I think it was roughly laid out like that anyway. So there we are. So, what's sinister so far? Nothing. It all looks quite nice, doesn't it? And yeah, sure enough, it was. As I say, the room wasn't quite as it didn't have the depth that I've drawn it with there, because the stereo was essentially it was the corner of the room. So I'm going to add a little wall in, and here was the door leading to the living room where my family would all be gathered round, sipping tea and eating ginger nuts and slightly dressed up for the visit and talking and having a very nice time. So there we go. Nothing scary about that yet, is there? No, there isn't. So what was it about this room that helped the record to be scary? Because it wasn't that the room was scary, but it did help the record along. Okay, well, point one was the fact that the door would be closed. This was because David had asked for that record again, and the whole of the rest of the family had heard it time and time again. They didn't need to hear it again. Of course, they'd be able to hear bits of it coming through the cracks in the door, but, they knew the story. They didn't need it again. Point two is this was a room of two ends. So up here, you have the voice. This is the voice blaring out of the speakers there, and it was on vinyl, so nice and warm and rich and all of that. Am I right, audiophiles? But if I got too scared, which, mind you, I did this for fun. It wasn't something I didn't want to hear, but I liked to be scared by this. And when I was, and I had to run away, I could run away to this end of the room where we had a nice little sofa, which was used as a bed when Nana Cotton was round. There we go. Cushions on that. And get rid of that. Oh, I need to replace it in a minute. There we go. This was great for jumping on and curling up in the corner of and being as far away from the voice as possible. Well, so far so good. I mean, this is a flawless plan, isn't it? What could be scary about this? Well, what do you think was also in that far safe corner of the room, far away from the voice of the scary piano? That's right, none other, of course, than a standing piano, the strings of which would gently vibrate as the sound of the voice carried across the floor. There we go. In other words, there was nowhere to hide from Sparky's Magic Piano. It was a thrill ride. I used to love this thing. I'd get it put on. I would go and hide at the other end of the room when the voice came on, and it was just really exciting. Great record. Well done. Actually, now that I've got a diagram of this room, I should do another video, shouldn't I, about the other records I listened to in there, or heard for the first time in there. Yeah, I might do that another time. Spoilers, Harry Nilsson's The Point, Tim Hart's Drunken Sailor, and Power Rangers, A Rock Adventure. Bye.